If you're looking to buy a stacked NBA 2K account with max badges and more, visit sportstmb.com. He has been in the community for years and has hundreds of reviews. Click the first link in the description to get your account today.
I'm just going to keep doing this until it stops working. By the time this video is going up, I should be 10,000 subscribers away from 69,000. So be sure to subscribe to hit that exclusive number. By exclusive, I mean 200,000 other people have that number or better of subscribers, but whatever. But if you like this video, there are many more like it soon to come on this channel and many more like it that are already out on this channel. So subscribe, and of course please drop a like so maybe my parents will finally be proud of me. Anyways, today's video is obviously about Luka Doncic. And the title is The Only Problem with Luka Doncic's Game, but this video is really going to be two videos in one. See both of the topic ideas that I've had for Luka, why Luka is the greatest 20-year-old player ever, and of course, the one problem with him, are not videos that can really reach 10 minutes, and we know how YouTube is, so I just decided to combine the two. We're going to start with a shit ton of praise for Luka, and then go into the one problem with his game. So, roll the intro.
Save! Absolutely incredibly with the acrobatic alley-oop!
I'm going to say something that is pretty damn controversial, so please hold your breath and keep an open mind. Luka Doncic is good at basketball. I know, that's a crazy thing to say, but it's true. Luka this year is 0.3 rebounds a game, 1 assist, and 1.1 points a game away from averaging a 30-point triple-double with a 60% true shooting percentage. Luka Doncic was born on February 28th, 1999. I was born on February 29th, 2000, so that means that Luka is just 1 year and 1 day older than me. I'm a failure. Yeah, Luka has 1 year on me, but I'm more than 1 year away from being as god tier at anything as Luka is at basketball. Anyways, my deep insecurities aside, Luka Doncic still can't legally buy alcohol in the United States, and he is doing what he is doing. And with all this individual success, the Mavs have found themselves with the 5th seed in the West with a 27-15 record. What Luka is doing at the age that he is doing it has not been done before. Period. I saw a clip a few days ago from, of all people, Snoop Dogg saying that Kobe, Moses Malone, and LeBron were all better than Luka at age 20. Now, when I'm looking for deep intellectual sports commentary, I'll just say that Snoop Dogg is not the first guy that I turn to, but I guess I can refute this. I don't have anything better to do. That wasn't sarcastic in any way. That's just sadly true. Moses Malone at age 20 averaged 14 and 10 on 51% shooting in 1976, playing in the ABA on a team that went 35 and 49. Now, in contrast, Luka is averaging nearly a 30-point triple-double on 47% shooting, a just 5% worse field goal percentage than Moses Malone, who's a big man, averaging double his points per game and obviously way more assists per game. And the Mavericks, at just around the halfway point of the season, already have 27 wins, 8 away from the amount of wins that Moses Malone got in his second year, so this is not a contest. 20-year-old Kobe averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists on 47% shooting. Great numbers for a 20-year-old, no doubt, but not better than Luka's numbers. The one player who has anything close to a case is LeBron James, who as a 20-year-old averaged 27, 7, and 7 on 47% shooting, which is just 1.3 rebounds and 2 assists less than Luka, while being definitely a better defender. But the important factor here is that LeBron was playing 10 more minutes per game than Luka currently is. Even adjusting for pace, that difference is not made up for. Looking at their per 100 numbers, which adjust for pace, LeBron had 34, 9, and 9 per 100 stats in his sophomore year. Luka so far this season has 43, 14, and 13 per 100 stats. So even the next best 20-year-old in NBA history does not come close to Luka Doncic. Luka at 20 is better than LeBron was at 20. That is not really an opinion, it's pretty much a fact. Now, that does not necessarily mean that Luka is going to have a better career, but it's certainly something to be marveled at and something that LeBron fans should definitely accept, because it's just true. I'll probably make a video about this down the line, probably not actually too far from now, but Luka seriously has a chance to become the greatest player of all time. No hyperbole. As long as the Mavs don't fuck this up, with Luka at the wheel, the Dallas Mavericks will be up there with the Bulls, Spurs, and Warriors as the most championship-having team outside of the Lakers and Celtics. Now, with all these nice things said about Luka, seriously, I don't think it gets much better than saying he has the potential to be the greatest to ever do it. I do have one major concern in regard to Luka Doncic's game. I don't necessarily think it will hold him back significantly, but it could be the difference between him being a top 10 player of all time and a top 3 player of all time. Luka Doncic is almost a perfect offensive player, and before you guess it in the comments, though I'm sure you already have, no, this is not gonna be about Luka's defense. Luka is an alright defensive player, which by today's standards is perfectly acceptable. Would it be more ideal for him to be a great defender? Yeah, but I'm not gonna crucify the guy for being just okay. It's not like he's bad at it. Being okay at something really isn't a problem until you're okay at too many things and then you just end up being a role player. But as I was about to say, Luka is nearly a perfect offensive player. He is a great shooter, even if his percentage doesn't currently reflect that. He is a great finisher, shooting a ridiculous for a non-big man 76% at the basket this year, using a combination of his finesse and size. He is a great ball handler and he obviously has impeccable vision. He also has this rare ability that you rarely see in a player where he sees pretty much everything 5 seconds before it happens, which is obviously very beneficial to both his scoring and his playmaking. Luka sees what's going to happen before it even happens much better than most players in NBA history. Again, the guy's only 20. But as I've made it clear, there is one big problem with Luka's game, and now 1100 words into the script, I'll finally reveal it. It's really two things actually, but they're a symptom of the same problem. Luka Doncic is a bad off-ball player, and this bad off-ball ability has led to a historically high usage percentage. And both of these factors are not conducive to winning at all. Luka Doncic currently has a 37% usage percentage, which ranks 9th all time. If you actually go and scroll down the list of all-time single-season usage percentage, the highest usage percentage player to ever win a championship was Michael Jordan in 1993, who ranked 33rd all-time with a 34% usage percentage. So that's obviously a bad sign, but where this high usage percentage stems from is how much Luka Doncic has to dribble the ball, and how much he relies on himself to create offense for himself. Luka this year only has 17% of his 2-point baskets assisted and just 25% of his threes assisted, which is a horrible ratio. This means that Luka is creating almost all of his offense with no help at all, just he, himself, and the ball. The reason I mentioned earlier when talking about the near perfection of Luka's game that his 3-point shooting percentage doesn't reflect his shooting ability, that is because of this. It's because of how little of his threes are catch and shoot threes. If I'm building a perfect 3-point shooter from scratch, this player would have a healthy mix of ability and tendency to shoot off of the dribble and ability and tendency to shoot in the catch and shoot. The obvious perfect example is Steph Curry, who had 61% of his threes assisted for his career. Examples of guys who do not have a good mix would be James Harden, who has just 13% of his threes assisted. This is one of the main reasons why Russell Westbrook is such a poor three-point shooter. He's a career 36% catch and shoot guy, which is not great, but because of how many threes he shoots off of the dribble, he's lucky to have a 30% three-point shooting season. Luka is simply too responsible for creating offense for Luka. It's bad enough that he has such a burden of having to create for everyone else on his team, but when it's time for his teammates to reciprocate, they cannot do that. Part of this is on Luka for not being great at moving off ball and finding space for shots. I can tell you this from the Mavs games that I've watched, but you can also point the finger to his teammates who really aren't good creators. Now the finger to point goes in a few different directions. The next best creators for the Mavericks after Luka Doncic is one of either DeLon Wright or Jalen Brunson, who both average a whopping 3.2 assists per game. Now this is probably a mix of a problem with Luka and a problem with the Mavs, but all I know for sure is that it's a problem and it's not a winning formula. A guy having this much responsibility does not win you a championship. It's fine right now with him being at the age of 20, but it's something that's going to need to be corrected down the line and preferably in the near future. If this trend continues, there are going to be problems. On the bright side, this is obviously something that can be worked on. Get a playmaking guard to pair with Luka, say someone like Ricky Rubio, and I think the offense can become less reliant on Luka as a ball handler. It would improve the efficiency of Luka, bring down his responsibility, which is good for his longevity, and I think it would move the Mavericks over the hump and make them a real championship contender. Also, Rick Carlisle should draw up some plays to help Luka score in ways that don't involve him dribbling for the entire possession. If you go back and look at the last however long of championship teams, pretty much every one of their best players was good both on and off ball. There's obviously the big man of the past few years of Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant again, LeBron James, Steph Curry. The list continues. Off-ball movement is really important, and Luka just doesn't have it right now. Again, that finger could be pointed at Luka or the Dallas Mavericks, but it is a problem. As I said, I do not think that this caps Luka's potential, but it definitely could be a hindrance. And the Mavericks need to spot this problem soon, make some adjustments, or there will be problems down the line. That's the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, and cue the outro music.